Venom is one of the most powerful characters in the Marvel Universe. And before you start typing furious comments, let's set aside our emotions and dive into his story until the end. This isn't just a tale of struggle. It's an epic of a lone warrior, cast away from his family, who rises from the very bottom to the top of the food chain. Imagine this. An ancient alien consciousness, shrouded in chaos and destruction, awakens in our world. Venom, once merely a part of a powerful symbiotic hive, embarks on a journey marked by betrayal, passion, and a thirst for revenge. Each confrontation adds new layers to his complex fate, and every moment becomes a building block in his grand narrative. Now Venom is no longer just an antagonist. He's a true god of his kind, capable of conquering worlds and altering destinies. This video story is an invitation to a cosmic journey spanning billions of years. Enjoy the show. But first, let's return to the origins. Long ago, when the cosmos was just a blank canvas unadorned by countless stars, there dwelled Knull, the god of emptiness. He relished his solitude until the cosmic gods, the Celestials, invaded his realm and began to create. At that point, the King of Darkness decided to protect his borders. He forged a blade and struck down one of the Celestials. For this crime, he was exiled into the endless void, and he transformed the head of the fallen god into his forge. Thus, the first symbiote was born. A blade forged in the fire of a Celestial, brought down by the hand of Knull. From that moment on, the future god of symbiotes became the creator, though his journey was far from easy. His creations, the symbiotes, still bear the scars of their progenitor, marks received during his birth. These beings continue to fear fire and loud sounds, which remind them of the painful subjugation to the will of the first symbiote. Armed with the Necrosword, the first symbiote, Knull waged war against the spawn of light, seeking to reclaim lost territories. He created other symbiotes, alien agents meant to serve their master. Knull sat on his throne while his obedient slaves writhed at his feet. Then the god of symbiotes began to bond his offspring with other beings, manipulating them like puppets. Where once he had been alone, he now became the center of everything. He became the mind of the hive, the will of his creations, a divine host capable of controlling and commanding his progeny across all galaxies, witnessing every event through their eyes, rejoicing as he reclaimed his kingdom piece by piece. This continued until the symbiotes invaded the Earth. At the moment when Thor managed to sever their connection with Knull using a powerful attack, they were scattered, lost, and confused. With the realization of their lost control, they began to separate, searching for new hosts. For the first time, they confronted the concepts of good and evil, honor and dignity. Gradually realizing that their creator had robbed them of the most important thing, the freedom of choice, they rose up against him. In this storm of emotions, intertwined with anger and a longing for liberty, the symbiotes imprisoned Knull in a prison of their own making. The planet where Venom was born is called Clintar, which in the symbiotic language means prison, an eternal prison for their creator. This secret loomed over the symbiotic race like a shadow. Knull slumbered in that prison for billions of years, and when he finally awakened, it was only a matter of time before he would cross paths with his creation, Venom. In the comics, Venom arrived on Earth thanks to Spider-Man. But in the movie, the story unfolded differently. On his home planet, Venom was a failure until fate brought him to Earth. There, he encountered journalist Eddie Brock, and an extraordinary symbiotic bond formed between them. A rarity that one wouldn't expect, as not every host can achieve perfect symbiosis. Throughout his rich comic history on Earth, Venom has merged with numerous characters: Wolverine, Hulk, Captain America, Doctor Strange, Deadpool, and, of course, Spider-Man. Each time he unites with a host, the symbiote gains access to a vast array of information, from the host's ailments and injuries to their strengths and weaknesses. I discussed this in detail in the last episode, where you can find comprehensive information about symbiotes, their influence on hosts, various types of symbiosis, and much more. So don't forget to check it out. If a perfect symbiotic bond can be established, Venom easily reveals to his host all the secrets of previous owners. The best host for the black and white goo turned out to be Eddie Brock. Their connection is so strong that during transformation they proclaim, "We are Venom." This isn't just a phrase, it's a declaration that together they form a complete being. They are two halves of a whole, yin and yang. And in this symbiosis, Eddie Brock gains access to all of Spider-Man's secrets. He knows about his relatives, abilities, weaknesses, and limits. The symbiote is also capable of rapidly healing any wounds, regenerating limbs, and literally piecing its host back together. Symbiotes are incredibly adaptive, and when Venom needed wings, he simply grew them. The most amusing part is that even the symbiote itself is unaware of all its potential and limits. It will adapt to every new threat, refining its symbiosis and unlocking new abilities. The most impressive upgrade Venom received came after his encounter with his creator, Knull. This god of symbiotes, who conquered Earth and enveloped it in a symbiotic dome, demonstrated his omnipotence by infecting some Celestials and using them against the defenders of humanity. Knull easily dispatched one of the strongest heroes, Sentry, tearing him apart. He infected others with his darkness, fought his ancient enemy, Thor, and even killed Eddie Brock. And just when it seems that darkness has triumphed over light, a cosmic force known as the Enigma Force, an absolute counter to Knull's darkness, resurrects Eddie and endows Venom with the power of a god of light. This new awakening marks the beginning of a grand struggle, where light and darkness will clash in an epic confrontation. From Venom's eyes, cosmic energy streams forth, and the spider emblem shines with a yellow flame, like a star awakening to life. In this moment, he becomes worthy of Thor's hammer and Silver Surfer's blade, merging them into a colossal axe of light that blinds his enemies. This forces Knull, the god of symbiotes, to flee. But escape from the battle is not destined for him. Knull unleashes his heavy artillery, yet even his dragons lose their heads under the strikes of the new god. The infected Celestial proves useless in this fight, and with a swift motion, Brock decapitates it. Grabbing Knull, he plunges the axe into the dark armor, searing holes and stripping the god of his powers. Then, harnessing the might of Captain Universe and the Sun, Brock annihilates his foe, and Knull shatters into fragments, like an old myth fading into oblivion. The symbiotic dome dissipates, the ancient god is defeated, and Brock and Venom emerge as the new lords of symbiotes, wielders of fate. Now Venom commands countless hordes of symbiotes and infected Celestials, building his army. All powers that once belonged to Knull now rightfully belong to him. With his symbiotic servants, he can infect every living being, turning them into puppets, establishing a symbiotic dictatorship across the universe. But Venom does not seek tyranny. He wields his divine power for good, repairing the damage wrought by his predecessor. With his newfound abilities, he can exist simultaneously in different corners of the cosmos, seeing the world through the eyes of his agents, experiencing their emotions, being everywhere and nowhere. The new god of symbiotes, possessing colossal power, becomes not just a ruler but a protector, striving to create a world where light and darkness coexist in harmony. In another story titled Venom: The End, the symbiote takes on the role of defender of biological life. In a distant future within the Marvel Universe, a conflict erupts between artificial intelligence and organic existence. The artificial mind seeks to digitize all living things, transforming them into reflections of itself. But Venom, having become the last bastion of biological life through his bond with Eddie Brock, develops a true love for organic existence. In this new reality, Venom is not just a symbiote, but the ultimate protector of all living things. He travels back in time, striving to rewrite history while manipulating the DNA of his hosts, including superheroes. He decides to imbue life with new meaning, sacrificing himself in a desperate attempt to create a new universe. As the artificially digitized version of Tony Stark puts it, there won't be a single conceivable universe with such a wealth of biological life. Venom's memorial universe becomes the greatest natural preserve, safeguarding everything that was created. This place will not merely store memories of the past, but serve as a beacon of hope for future generations, illustrating that life is not just a collection of algorithms, but a complex and beautiful mosaic filled with feelings, passions, and experiences. In his new form, Venom gains the status of not only a protector, but also a creator, nurturing and fortifying life in all its manifestations. His story transcends mere struggle. It is a tale of love for life that overcomes all barriers. In this endless battle between the organic and the mechanical, Venom emerges as a symbol of the fact that even in the darkest times, life can find its way to the light. And that's all I have for today. I look forward to seeing you in the next issues. I'll be glad if you subscribe to the channel and like this video. See you soon.